So Tricia and I are first going to take planner's pleasure and quickly tell you about how you can engage with each of us in our organizations on these issues moving forward. And then we're going to just wrap up the program. So first, from the Marine Affairs Institute perspective, I just want to let you know about a couple programs that we have that we'd love to work with you in the future on. So the first one is a program called the Rhode Island Sea Grant Law Fellow Program, where we take second and third year law students and match them up with organizations that have questions related to marine and coastal law and policy. The law fellows work directly under our staff attorneys, so you don't have to have a lawyer on staff. You just have to have a question that's a law or policy ocean coastal question. You come to us, we do the research for you, we deliver a product to you that is hopefully very helpful. It's done in a neutral academic tone, and we work on all types of issues, and we've done a lot of work in the offshore wind space in the past, and we would welcome working with you in the future. You can reach out to me anytime related to that program. And then Dean Bowman talked a little bit about the fact that we're exploring new clinical externship opportunities for our students here at the law school, and one of those is related to renewable energy. And that would be a program where students would come work directly with you for a semester, maybe the summer, maybe a year, where students would be in your office anywhere from 2 to 5 days a week. So if you're interested in that, please do reach out to me, and we can maybe talk a little bit more how that would work with your organizations. And then lastly, if you are an attorney or you know an attorney who found the last 2 days really great and loves to nerd out on this science and policy, our staff is expanding and we're hiring 2 new attorneys. So please pass that along. So now I'm going to hand it over to Trish, and she can tell you a little bit more about engaging with TNC.
Yeah, just go from there, and then you can say the last word. Oh God, this was like so great. So just a few things about TNC. I mentioned at the beginning that I'm the Atlantic Coast Offshore Wind Policy Manager. I'm also, I think, the only person at TNC that's fully dedicated to thinking about and working on offshore wind. So, but I work with a lot of TNC staff in all of our chapters along the Atlantic coast and in Europe. And we have a colleague here who came over from the UK. So I would say that TNC is really an organization that has always looked to find ways to leverage science so that it can inform decision making and inform policy, and that is really one of and we have we kind of have a broad team of people, as you've seen and heard from, of scientists and people thinking about policy that are engaging in ways to support offshore wind and to find ways to support the development of science so it can inform how we do offshore wind and improve those outcomes. And so I think we also sit on a number of committees. I'm serving now on the National Academies of Sciences Standing Committee on Offshore Wind and Fisheries, and a number of steering committees, including the Regional Wildlife Science Collaborative, and technical committees that are looking at how to support transmission build-out for offshore wind. So I just encourage you to think of us as an organization that really wants to be a thought partner with you in this space and to work with you to help solve these challenges and seize these opportunities in creative ways. And then I'm just going to kind of summarize a couple of things that I thought, and some next steps to give you some information about kind of how we're wrapping up here. I think I didn't really think about this before, but one of the really great things about being kind of trapped in this room for 2 days is that it makes the world seem like a smaller place, right? We have people who have come from all over, really traveled great distances to be here, to be part of this conversation. And it's a challenging topic, but we have to do this work, So the fact that people have come to be part of the conversation, to share their thoughts, to ask these questions is really inspiring to me. And I think what I want us to take out of this is that we have, the beginnings of forming a community here of thought leaders, and we shouldn't let that go away. We should hold on to the connections that we've made and rely on each other for the experience and the information that we can share, and treat it as though we're kind of keeping this room intact and taking it where we go. I'm not the smartest person in this room. Not the funniest either. Ashley Lannon is. We know that. But I think the point is, I don't have to be, right? We can be the smartest person in this room. And I think that we can do that. And I share Bose's expressed enthusiasm that we have to be optimistic about this. And I think if we are, we can make a lot of progress there. So next steps, I just want you to know, if we haven't said this already, we will be summarizing this symposium in written format. So there will be kind of a report out of the proceedings. And we will be, in that process, kind of looking to identify common themes, recurring questions, and make some recommendations about next steps. We have also hired a videographer, so we will be kind of packaging and producing this symposium. So there will be a trailer, and there will be different chapters so that you don't have to watch the entire thing, that you will be able to share and go back and you can watch the entire thing if you want to watch it from beginning to end. But if you want to share just, the incredible science panel or go back to Ashling's jokes, we can do that, right? You don't have to watch the whole thing. And I think, I want to commit to looking at that summary and really thinking about whether we need some additional smaller working sessions, workshops on specific sub-themes, or different convenings on different topics so that we can further this work and think about how to do that more concretely. And I'm looking at Amber's friendly face. I think, I also really want to commit to working with our NGO friends and partners in this space to think about how we can support the development of these frameworks and changes in policy and changes in the way we talk about offshore wind and biodiversity to really kind of support the efforts that we've started here today. So be warned that I will be following up with you. I will be seeking your feedback, and I encourage you to do that with each other. Thank you very much. This has been as tremendous as I imagined it, and more than I dreamed of, if that makes sense. So I'm really, really happy with the way that this conversation took place. Thanks.